Let's jump into that. And we start off with Hyperion Bay, 1998 to 1999.
Well, Melvin isn't supposed to stop looking at me like that.
I look at you anywhere I want. I was almost impaled like a cigarette lighter just now.
I'm sorry about that, Hans. The car obviously has some very specific design flaws, and I don't think the boys back in there thought things completely through.
The WB spent a lot of the late 90s chasing teen fantasy, and in 1998, the WB landed on a big one. The former nerd who comes home successful enough to make every high school bully rethink their life choices. That idea became Hyperion Bay, a drama built almost entirely on the satisfaction of a revenge blow-up. This show starred Mark Paul Gosselaar as Dennis Sweeney, a once awkward teen turned tech success story. His computer skills finally pay off, complete with a Mercedes-Benz, a Silicon Valley paycheck, and a girlfriend who looks straight out of a shampoo commercial. Dennis then heads back to his sleepy hometown to open a tech company, and he immediately learns the locals are indeed not excited about an army of caffeinated programmers in cargo pants invading their quiet beach town. The story leans into small-town tension, romantic drama, and the ultimate twist. The girl Dennis used to love is now married to his former bully, and miserable about it. The series wasn't technically a soap opera, but it came pretty close. All it really needed was someone dramatically throwing a martini across the kitchen island. And to its credit, Hyperion Bay did build a tiny but loyal audience, mostly consisting of viewers who either enjoyed romantic tension or didn't mind its occasional dial-up speed pacing. However, the show ran into trouble behind the scenes. The WB wanted something flashier and faster. The creator resisted, so the network took the classic TV approach. Just replace him. A producer from Melrose Place was brought in, and their first major change? Add Carmen Electra. And unfortunately for them, adding Carmen Electra didn't add more viewers. Ultimately, Hyperion Bay struggled not because its premise lacked potential, but more because it couldn't quite decide what kind of show it wanted to be. Small town drama or glossy soap imitation. And sadly, this series proved whether you're chasing love, ratings, or respect, you can't force people to want you. And you definitely can't fix every problem by saying, just put Carmen Electra in there. Next up, we have the show titled Free from 1998.
High-end arts and jewelry. A master of the short con and martial arts. A hacker Robin Hood who stole from the rich to give to the poor.
What's up, everybody?
The organization's job is to protect the status quo. You three are each the best at what you do. Now you will do it for us.
A jewel thief
How's everybody
and a
doing?
drifter get kidnapped. Nope, that's not a setup for a punchline. This was the premise of the WB action drama titled Free, a series that turned criminal talent into involuntary law enforcement. The show starred Edward Atherton, Julie Bowen, and Bumper Robinson as three professional criminals recruited by a secret government agency. Their options were simple: help this government agency capture other criminals far worse than they were, or serve time behind bars. In theory, it was kind of like Ocean's 11 meets Mission Impossible. In practice, this show was more like Ocean's 11 if no one smiled and everybody just regretted their contracts. The pilot episode even delivered exactly what a late 90s action show needed: gunfire, chase sequences, and some high-stakes intensity designed to grab viewers immediately. However, after the show's explosive open, it soon shifted gears. Action took a back seat to slow-paced character drama, focusing heavily on trust issues and the emotional scars of the character Amanda, who's played by Julie Bowen. The creators clearly wanted a tense psychological thriller where every alliance felt unstable, but it kind of became a show where the characters constantly wondered, can I trust this person? While viewers quietly wondered, can I find a remote? Free flopped so fast that 5 of its episodes never even aired, leaving its mission incomplete both on screen and naturally in the ratings as well. It was almost too on the nose. a show about criminals forced into secrecy that ended up being so hidden most audiences never even knew it existed. Criminals and hackers may thrive on staying out of sight, but television definitely doesn't work that way. And the cast and crew of 3 learned that the hard way. Rescue 77 from 1999.
Spelling the creative background comes a WB paying event between the streets and the ER. They're our heroes.
I am going to get you out of here, but I need your help.
This happens every day. You have to get up now, back to the rig, and go on. Heroes risking everything. Every day. To help others. And now, Great Campaign, Mercury Morning, Victor Brown, and Richard Roundtree in the film premiere of Rescue 77.
Television has probably produced more police series than actual police precincts. However, paramedics and fire stations were much more rare in the 90s. In 1999,
How's it going, guys? Like the stream.
Fill that gap with Rescue 77, a drama about 3 Los Angeles paramedics stationed at, yes, Station 77. The cast would include Victor Brown, Christian Payne, Marjorie Monahan, and Richard Roundtree, meaning you have got the unique experience of watching a sheriff deliver emotional dialogue between emergency calls. The show centered on Kathleen, a paramedic returning to work after a breakdown. Her partner, Michael, who becomes her inconvenient love interest, and Whit, the rookie who tries so hard to impress everyone that you almost expect him to salute the fire extinguisher. What's really cool about Station 77 is the creator wasn't just guessing how firefighting worked. The creator was actually a former firefighter themselves, former paramedic, and even the writer of the 1991 hit title, Backdraft. This girl was covering realistic, heartfelt storytelling to television. Critics, however, didn't really see that realism. According to the reviews of this show, the WB polished the concept into a glossy melodrama where emotional depth will take a backseat to attractive people standing near flames. Deseret News delivered one of the harshest assessments, calling the show overwrought melodrama, which is critics' shorthand for this cast is too pretty for this job. The show lasted a whole 8 episodes before the WB canceled it, declining to resuscitate a series that arrived looking like an emergency going to be safe. Firefighter dramas would later succeed. Third Watch, Chicago Fire, Station 19, so the subject matter wasn't the issue. Rescue 77 simply proved that a first responder series needs more than heroism, heart, and some perfect care. It has to feel alive. Next up, Safe Harbor, 1999.
Oh, dude, I was just about to.
After Rescue 77, the WB seems to think if people don't want firefighters, they'll definitely want cops. But not every series featuring a badge becomes must-see TV. Case in point, Safe Harbor, the WB's 1999 attempt at a heartwarming small-town drama centered on Sheriff John Loring, who's played by Gregory Harrison. John is grieving his wife's mysterious death, raising 3 sons, and looking after a teenage runaway. Because apparently in this town, actual crime takes a backseat or a vacation, and only troubled kids need policing. Fortunately, he gets backup from his mom, played by Rue McClanahan, who runs a beachside motel with the perfect blend of southern charm and I run this town kind of authority. Episodes bounced between believable family storylines, like teenage boys trying to get girlfriends, and plotlines that felt more like the town collectively drank bad lemonade, including an entire UFO head. I just know somewhere out there Mulder and Scully are still laughing. Here's where things get pretty interesting. Safe Harbor actually had a dream launch. This show was produced by the same team behind 7/7 and aired directly after it on Monday nights. That's like the TV equivalent of being handed a golden ticket and then using it as stationary. WTF, guys. With that kind of pedigree and lead-in, Safe Harbor should have been an easy win. Instead, it was a huge fat L. It totally sank. After 8 episodes, the WB quietly moved it to Sunday night for its 2 final episodes before canceling it altogether. The show disappeared so quickly that today it's nearly impossible to find anything about it beyond a handful of reviews, one of which famously said that the series had no discernible pulse. Ouch. When critics start calling your family drama clinically dead, it might be time to stop fighting the current. Safe Harbor wasn't sunk by competition. It simply never had a heartbeat to begin with.
Welcome to your love story. It didn't start like anyone else's. And Zazzle's here to help you tell it. From save the dates, the thank you cards, and everything in between. No matter your style or story, Zazzle offers high-quality products and unique designs for any budget. Welcome to Zamazing. Welcome to Zazzle. Shop now at Zazzle.com.
Next up is Cleghorn, 1995.
Son of a bitch.
In the mid-90s, Ellen Cleghorn was breaking ground at Saturday Night Live as the first black female cast member to stay longer than one season. So, when the WB launched in 1995, the network gave her a sitcom, Cleghorn. Yes, the exclamation point is part of the title, as if the show needed to shout its own name to be noticed. Cleghorn played Ellen, a single mother raising her 9-year-old daughter while navigating the usual sitcom obstacles. Meddling parents and a younger sister who wants to be a model, played by future Emmy Award winner Sherry Shepherd. The show would deliver familiar and reliable plots, like a storyline where Ellen gets her daughter into a prestigious private school only for the girl to beg to return to public school, and another where Ellen attempts and fails to enjoy an uninterrupted romantic evening. It was the standard single mom sitcom type formula, just with a louder title. Cleghorn premiered during the WB's first chaotic attempt at original programming, a time when the network was struggling to land a hit. The viewers certainly didn't flock to this show, and critics weren't enthusiastic either. Variety even commented that the most exciting thing about the show was its exclamation point, a printed burn if there ever was one. After 12 episodes, the WB pulled the show into hiatus and didn't air its final 3 episodes. Cleghorn ended up with the same one-season graveyard as most of the network's comedies, proving that in 1995, the WB was still trying to figure out what worked, while most of its ideas simply didn't work. Next up is Curse, 1995 to 1996.
This is so cool. All this kids living with little grown-ups. I love you. It's so good joke, guys. I'm 24. Why would someone put me in charge of 3 kids?
When Cleghorn went into hiatus, the WB quickly replaced it with another early network family, Curse, a sitcom built entirely around America's former teen heartthrob, Kirk Cameron. He plays Kurt Hartman, a comic book illustrator living in Greenwood Village who suddenly becomes guardian to his younger siblings after his complex story. Because nothing says responsibility like leaving kids with an artist who probably has a whole $26 in a sketch bag for their name. The show delivered familiar sitcom storylines with equally familiar results. In one episode, Kirk tries to calm